What's up, Internet? You're tuning in episode 10 of the Flip Screen Games Podcast, a weekly video game podcast where two best buds from different nations come together to discuss the wide, wide world of video games. Of course, as always, I'm your host, Pete and Bessie, joined, as always, by my very good friend, Mr. Steven Ratford.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Steve. Welcome back.
Yeah, can you believe we've done 10 of these already? I mean, technically this is episode 11, because it was like 7.5 was the PlayStation thing, but officially we've done 10 of these, which is crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy. When I was I was scheduling one more thing because if you listen to if you listen to this week's this is confusing. I was scheduling one more thing for Monday because I am going to Comic-Con this weekend. So I was putting everything in the back end, and this was the first one that we made to the double digits, and I was like, oh, whoa, it feels weird, because, I don't know, I guess it all still feels fresh to me, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, you want the scotch today?
No, this is just Diet Coke in a scotch glass.
just feeling a bit fancy.
Yeah, I wanted to celebrate, It's the 10th episode. You got to open it up, let it breathe a little bit, smell the what do they call them? Tenors? I don't know anything about wine.
Tannins.
Tannins. There we go. I gotta let the Diet Coke breathe a little bit,
Where's the Cuban to go with it?
No, you take it neat. I don't want to water it down.
Okay.
It's a good year.
Great vintage.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. So on this week's show, we've got a bunch of questions to jump into. A bunch of you wrote in with some fun questions that I'm excited to dig in on. Plus, this will be our first opportunity to officially talk about Steve's experiences with Deltarune. So plenty to chew on this week. But before we do that, let me just remind you that this episode of the Flip Screen Games podcast is brought to you by our Patreon producers for the month of October. Thank you so much to Christian Oliveria, Christopher Valenz, a.k.a. That Doc Guy, Gabriel Hasselmeyer. I knew it and I had it and I laughed for some reason. I was like, Gabriel, did I say that right? Gabriel Hasselmeyer, a.k.a. Sobi, Wakahula, and Zaid Ida. Thank you all so much for your support over on patreon.com/flipscreengames. Y'all are the realest of the real. Thank you for keeping the mics on and the lights on. So, got a few more plugs to get in before we get into the real content. We got to call out those.
You remembered the format, right? You saw the doc and you were like, "Shit, I've got some more."
Oh, right. There's more to say, right? I got other things. But speaking of Patreon, if you want to go support us at any level, you can go get access to our Patreon exclusive show, One More Thing, where Steve and I this past week talked about episode 2 of Bake Off / Bake Show, I guess, depending on where you live. And what else did we talk about? There was another subtopic there. Oh, we talked about stand-up comedy as well. That was the other thing.
And how it's totally different in America to the UK. Yeah. I'm so curious to hear from Americans and from Brits that listened and Europeans that listened to the One More Thing to see if they have stand-up comedy. Like, is stand-up comedy popular in Europe?
I was going to say, I think I'd be more interested to hear from the Europeans to be like, which do you know? Like, do you know either of them? Are there some you know from both? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, go check that out. That is, of course, the best way to show your support is to head over to the Patreon, and you get a little bit of extra podcast in your feed every week. We have a great time doing that show, and we've had more than one person who pays for One More Thing say that they like it more than the main show. So if you want to hear us talk about stuff aside from video games, that show is hot nonsense, and I think it's worth your $2. If you want to get links to all the other places you can find our stuff, of course, head over to flipscreen.games. That's our website. You can get links to our Twitch channel, where every Thursday, and of course, that's twitch.tv/flipscreengames. And every week, Steve and I are there on Thursday nights gaming. Last week was what? Deltarune Chapter 1, right?
No, because, we haven't done it yet, Pete. We're recording it differently.
Right.
Stream on my own earlier tomorrow. Yeah.
So what are you playing?
So last week, I think I'm going to play one of the games I picked up this week, which is Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics. I need to see if I can rope everyone in. I know Chewy and Sierra were both up for a Mancala tournament, so I kind of want to set that up, but I know you wanted to be involved as well, so I might pen that one till you're back next week.
Sure.
And play something else. But
Doc,
I'm going to put a vote up on Patreon and they can pick tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah, Doc got me a code for Clubhouse games, so I'm in. If
Sweetheart.
I know Doc's a good boy. So yeah, I get tune in on. Well, at this point, it'll already have happened. So tune in this Thursday for a game we don't know that we're playing yet. But like Steve said, you can go over to the Patreon. We put up a poll and we let you vote when we don't know what we're gonna play. So it's a great way for you to have your voice be heard about what games you want to see us stream over there on that old twitch.tv/FlipScreenGames. And then, of course, if you want to write into the show, there's a couple ways you can do that and get your thoughts read on the air during our question block or our main topics. Those are, of course, over on Twitter. We throw up a thread every week. On Discord, we throw up a thread every week. Or you can email us at questions@flipscreen.games. And, yeah, we'll read your thoughts on the air. And, if it's a good, thought-provoking question, we'll give it the attention that it deserves. If it's a dumb, not thought-provoking question, we'll give it the attention it deserves. So, you do with that what you will.
What if it's just Dade asking you to dab on air?
I won't do it. I'll never dab.
You're not going to do that.
No, I will never dab.
How many channel points? Which, by the way, I went in and did some channel point stuff. They're officially called bubblies on our Twitch channel now. So how many bubblies? Leaving their mark. How many bubblies for a dab? We need to decide. Everyone needs 100,000 bubblies.
Bubblies are free. I'm not going to embarrass myself by dabbing unless it's for cold, hard cash.
You can do the community thing where they all bundle them together and then they can spend them. So we could do that. Pete dabs as a community challenge. Everyone's going to get together 1 million bubblies and just pull them all together.
No, I think what we'll do is we'll do a sub drive, and at a certain number of Twitch subscriptions, I'll do it, I guess.
Do a sub drive, and on every sub, one of us will dab or dance.
No.
I'm
not doing it. I'll dance, but I won't dab. Like, that's got to be like I've got to have a hell of a return on investment if you're going to have me sully my good name by dabbing. I'm a nearly 30-year-old white man. I can't dab. It's ridiculous.
Have you ever done it?
No. I mean...
No, me neither.
I
wasn't young enough.
I might have done it ironically once to fuck with somebody who didn't like dabs. That might have been a thing. But I'm not going to do one sincerely, you know?
I don't really understand what they are, if I'm perfectly honest. So, yeah.
We're too old, Steve.
I know. Really.
You know? I know what I'm about, you know?
Do you know, I feel that, but then I went into Morrison's. I wanted to buy Macaulay a can of Monster. Got fucking ID'd for it.
You got a baby face.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm telling you, once you grow a beard, you never get ID'd again. I haven't been ID'd since I got a beard.
I can't grow a beard.
I know.
I've got no hair on my head, and I've got no hair on my face, or my hair is slowly dwindling on my head, I should say.
You better hope that you're one of those, guys who gets the facial hair later.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna look like an egg.
You look like Wooly Willy.
I'll look like Matt Lucas on Bake Off.
Oh man, we'll have to get you some really bold glasses.
I'll do that, and then you can dress up like Noel Fielding, and we'll have a great time.
I feel like that's already my style.
Yeah, you just need a bit of eyeliner, and you're good to go.
I look good in eyeliner. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of work, though.
Yeah, I couldn't do makeup. I want to do makeup because I look shiny all the time. I can't be bothered.
Too lazy.
I don't even do anything with my hair. I'm not going to do anything with my face.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, speaking of doing things this week, we both played a good amount of video games this week. And, it's so funny because you can tell the kind of day I'm having. We put the show notes together and I wrote, oh yeah, I'm still playing Iki Island and Unite. I don't really have anything new to say.
Totally missed
and Steve's
one of the biggest games this week.
What about Halo? It's like, yeah, dude, I played a shit ton of Halo too. Like, I have a lot to say about Halo, and I totally was just like, whoosh, I thought that was like 2 weeks ago now. I don't even know.
No, it was like 2 days ago, but yeah, I really enjoyed the Halo demo, and I'm glad we both got in on it because you were just like, oh, I missed my chance, and I was like, no, go and get the Xbox Insider app and download it. And there's another one this weekend, or sorry, you just missed it if you're listening to this. It was last weekend, but I'm really looking forward to it. I had a good time with this. I played with my brother, and with Banana Gamer from the Discord. Zaid was in there but couldn't join because he didn't have a code. It was a good time. I like the new big team, whatever it's called. What's it called?
Big Team Battle.
Big Team Battle.
I fucking love Big Team Battle.
It does not work for Capture the Flag. It's completely broken for Capture the Flag. That big map is so cool. I love it that you can just drive around the thing. But you try moving that flag anywhere near your base.
I'll tell you what,
you
Steve.
Just cannot do it.
I liked it. I didn't get into it with you on Twitter when we were talking about it because I wanted to say I like the Capture the Flag on the big like it is fucking ridiculous. Like it's so hard to move the flag, but because of that, I felt like it was so fucking satisfying when I scored. Like there were 2 games where I scored the last flag like on that map and was just like, I'm Jesus. Like, I don't know how I made it.
Maybe the problem was that we were too evenly matched because not a single one of us got the flag anywhere. We scored 0 points. Then it went to sudden death. And then ultimately, it just gave up and said it was a tie. And we played for like 30 minutes and got nowhere. And it was
I had
so
that happen
boring.
once. I had one match like that where I was like, Jesus, we're still going on this fucker, huh? Like,
I was like, I'm done with this now. I just want to go and play Slayer again. I really just want to go kill some people.
Yeah,
and what's the other one with the zones? That's the other mode they had, right?
Well, there's
just
2.
3.
There's the capture points where you get points
A, B, and C.
Yeah, and there's 2 versions of it. There's one where you get points as long as you have 2 of 3. And then there's one where you have to have all 3 of them, and then you get 1 point.
Oh, so I've only played the one then that was the 2 of the 3, and it's like your team is now scoring.
The one where you need all 3 might be a big team battle mode. I don't quite remember, but
I only got Slayer and Capture the Flag on the big team battle. The problem was the second play slot was started at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. UK time. I think it was 8 p.m. Pacific. I was just like, that's too late. I'm not starting then. So I only had the option to play on the earlier time slots, which was a shame.
I had the inverse problem.
Decent. Oh, because it was too early for you. Yeah,
it's like 8 o'clock in the morning or something. I'm like, I'm not waking up to play Halo. You know, like I got shit to do in the morning. Yeah. It's like I'm either trying to sleep or I got stuff I got to be doing. You know, and I'm like Friday, I'm working, right? So, but yeah, like on Friday night, the day that you were like, oh no, you can still download it. You can still download it. Go download it now. And I was like, all right, cool. I got it. I set it up, and I had like band practice that night or something. I was over at Mike's house and I came home like maybe 10, 15 minutes after the test fire had started. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to jump in and play this for like an hour or 2. And then, I'll see how I feel. I literally only stopped for like 15 minutes so I could inhale my dinner. And then I played until they kicked me off the server.
Yeah, that's what I did. I played up until it closed. And then I ended up going to play some Diablo with my brother or whatever. But I was sad when it closed. I was like, no, I want to keep going. I want to keep playing. This game's so fun.
It's honestly made me less, like, I've had less like, I don't know. I haven't had as much time to play games this week, so I haven't been doing a lot of single player stuff, which is like where I ended up playing a good amount of Pokemon Unite while I was like watching TV or whatever. But every time I'm just like, man, I wish I had Halo. I really wish I could just fucking jump into Infinite right now.
And I don't want to go back to the Master Chief Collection, having played that now, because it just looks stunning. I was playing at 120 frames per second.
Well, and I want to get used to the new stuff.
Satisfying.
You know?
Yeah.
Because, like, there's all these new mechanics, and they're different. And, like, it's not, it's still Halo. It still feels like Halo, but, like, there is a lot of new stuff that
there's grapple hooks, man. There's grapple hooks.
Or like the repulsor where you could like knock people off.
I had no idea what it
was
for a while. I was like, what is this? Because the picture looks a little bit like the sword.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is this gonna like spawn a sword or something? And I was stuck as to what the hell it was doing for a while. And then I did it near an enemy and it just like knocked them back and I was like, oh, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, I had the same thing
like,
where
knock them back and you shoot them at the same time and it's like, fuck off.
At first I thought it was like a block. I was like, oh, that's cool. You can like block bullets or whatever with it. But then I did it like somebody was coming at me and I was like trying to melee them and I kind of panic pushed it and just shot them off the level. And I was like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. And then you've got some of the classics like the over armor and stuff, which are always good. But there's that new like pop-up shield one. I don't know if that was in there before, where you like spawn
there was like a
shield
version
like,
of that, but it's kind of different. Like I'm pretty sure it used to be a bubble, and now it's just like it's a one-sided shield.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that. What's the new weapon? Is it like the slicer or something? And it's like it shoots what looks like big knives at the
big,
front
like,
of it.
Big needles, yeah.
It's like a one-shot kill, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
but it takes ages to reload. So
and it only has like 3 bullets every time you find it. Yeah, but like it blows up vehicles too.
Does it really? Oh, I didn't try it on a vehicle.
Yeah, and like I don't know, maybe like they had already taken some damage when I hit them, but like I remember on the big team battle, I was like I figured out that there were the sides that you could go along, and like it's a lot like not Blood Gulch, it's the other one. I forget the name of it, but it's one of the other old Halo maps that has like the same like ramp that you like shoot off of, and there's the 2 big bases, and it's very similar to kind of like a combination of that map and Blood Gulch. And like on the sides, there's like a sniper, there's like a rocket launcher, there's like a bunch of different items that are kind of hidden in these caves that you can go and get. And I started realizing that was the way to get around the map the easiest way, like especially if you're trying to like achieve something. So I went down there, found the needle gun, went like to their base, and from the side I waited until like the ghost or whatever. Yeah, it was a ghost that spawned. And as soon as I like got a shot, I was like, okay, bam, like blow up the ghost, like kill this other guy in the base, kill this other guy. And then I just ran in, threw a bunch of grenades in, grabbed the flag, and just teared ass back through the caves.
Oh, that's so cool.
That gun is fucking brutal. Like it's so easy.
I love that gun.
Like the fact that it only has like 3 shots is I think why it's not like ridiculously OP, because it's so fucking strong.
It's the 3 shots and the slow reload. So if you miss and they manage to get a few shots in,
you're done.
You either have to drop the gun and like just retaliate with your normal weapon, or you just like you say, you're done. They're gonna get you before it's reloaded and you're able to shoot again.
But like if you can,
it's my favorite weapon in the game now. I love that gun. I go for it every time. It's like power weapons now available, and I'm like fucking legging it to it. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get it.
Like if you can get it while there's a fight happening, like your team's in the fight, and you're like, oh, I can just be on the side and pick people off, and they don't even know I'm here yet. Like, oh, it's so good. But yeah, I was chatting about it with I went back to my hometown this weekend to see a friend of mine off who's actually moving to California with their husband. And we were just chatting a little bit, and like none of them have a Series X, none of them are like really keeping up with Halo Infinite, and I was like, yo, you guys like who have PCs, you need to get in on the next test flight. I'm not joking. Like Halo is back. Like this is legit as fuck, you know, and that's the headline that I want you to take away from this conversation is like, if you haven't gotten hands on it yet, if you've only, you've seen some of the pre-stuff, you've seen the trailers, all that kind of junk, like, and you've been on the fence about Halo Infinite at all, if you have an Xbox or a PC and you have the means to get into the beta, playing is believing.
By the way, anyone can get in on the beta on Xboxes. Download the Xbox Insider app. The PC, they were a little bit more picky and they had to send you a code. But yeah, anyone. If you download the Xbox Insider app from the Xbox store, you can just join and download it. I think you're 100% right. I think Halo's going to have a moment, especially when you consider this is free to play.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you did it, but they gave you a bunch of credits so you could go on the store and buy stuff and do the battle pass and things.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm getting on this.
I liked it a lot too.
System. It was really good. And like the customization options, I made my pass and have like a bionic arm, and I got like a cool helmet and a nice different paint job. I was like, this is good. I could see myself really getting into this.
Absolutely. And it's funny because, I don't know, right? Like Halo's been, I don't know. It feels disrespectful to say off its game for a while, but I think it has been. I don't think that there's been a Halo that's been essential, that's felt like it's essential gaming since Reach, probably, since Bungie, passed things off, or I guess ODST came after that. I don't quite remember.
Yeah, ODST was the last one.
And, no disrespect to 343, right? They're working on this, and it's incredible. But I don't know, like, I feel like it's always felt like it's been this, like, flash in the pan moment every time, whereas with Infinite, like, the excitement around it is palpable. Like, I haven't seen one person who's actually played the game say a negative thing about it. Like, every test flight, I've just seen people overwhelmingly being like, this is so much fun. I'm having a blast. Like, I can't wait for this to come out. I'm so sad that it's over and that we only got to play this. Like, that seems to be the narrative that everybody is perpetuating about this game. And that's exactly where you want to be. Like, I think everybody knows that this game has something to prove. Like, I think this is it, right? Like, I not that if this game sucked that, like, Halo would be, like, a dead IP or something like that, but, like, Halo has not been a marquee title in a long time, And I feel like this has the juice behind it right now, not just because, people are into it, but, like, it's just so good. Like, I got sucked into it for, like, I lost 4 hours. I blinked, and it was like, oh, wow. Like, I've been playing this nonstop. And I don't know. Like, I hope that this can be a, like, Breath of the Wild moment for Halo. Not in the way that everybody always says that, where it's like, oh, we're going to open it up and break down the formula and all. But, like, you think about where Zelda was in terms of, like, the broad, gaming spectrum cachet, right? And I think it was in a fairly similar place where it's like, obviously Zelda is an IP that people love and people champion, and it's one of the most iconic gaming franchises of all time. But, like, when was the last time before Breath of the Wild that a Zelda game was, like, Game of the Year contender? It had been a while. And I feel like Infinite feels like it's similarly poised to be like, oh no, yeah, like, Halo still whips. Halo still has cards left to play. And I feel like right now, right, we're in such a saturated market of shooters, but, like, Halo is still different. Like, Halo has such a different flavor than all of those other games because it's slower paced. It's less, like, obviously there's Slayer and stuff like that, but so many of the game types are about objectives rather than getting kills, which, like, is, like, more like Overwatch, and I don't know. Like, I feel like Halo has always been special, but I don't know, like, I feel like it's got a chance to really put itself back on top, especially right now when Xbox is trying to put itself back on top. Like, what better time than right now to come out with a Halo that can arguably be said is in the conversation for best. That's what they need right now. And from the limited amount of time I spent with it, I feel pretty confident that it's going to hit that mark. I mean, we'll see what happens with the single player, right? Like, Lord knows how that's going to turn out, but, like,
yeah. But to be honest, the fact that they're shipping that as, like, a separate thing, a separate game, it's like, this is really the meat and potatoes, isn't it? This is what you came for. You came for the multiplayer and the free to play and the battle pass and all that stuff, and and the campaign is just the trimmings. It's the nice bit on the side that you play if you're into the story of Halo, but for the most part, you probably are there for the online.
Yeah. And I mean, I am way into it. I am way into what I've seen. Not that I wasn't excited for Halo Infinite, but it shot up my list in terms of, like, oh my, like, how long until I can get my hands on this forever? Like, let's go. Come on.
And I can't believe it's December.
2
We've
months.
Wait till December. I'm like, oh. But at least in that time, I've got Metroid and Forza and Disco Elysium and a bunch of other shit that I can't even remember.
But not Far Cry.
Because
you canceled your...
Well, yeah. I did cancel my pre-order of that.
Crazy.
It's coming out the same day or the day before Metroid, and the reviews are just so lukewarm on it that I'm just like, you know what? And I can wait. I'll play Metroid on launch day, and I'll wait until that game inevitably goes down in price because it's a Ubisoft game, and they lose money, like lose value in days.
Yeah, I think I will probably end up waiting too because I am like behind on games right now. I definitely don't need something else, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a strong Game of the Year contender.
No, I don't think it is, and that's what I want to do. I want to get in on the things that are potentially Game of the Year, which I know we're going to be talking about soon. Like, I still want to play Death's Door. I still want to play Disco Elysium. I want to finish Deltarune Chapter 2. Like, there's a ton of stuff that I'm playing through that I need to play before we can like start discussing what potentially the Game of the Year is. Because I know there's stuff that I've played that you haven't, and there's obviously a lot of PlayStation stuff that you've played that I can't. So I at least want to have something to bring to the table.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough at this point to fit some of these games in. You know, like there's going to be a lot that I just don't think I'm going to get to. You know, and it's going to be what it is. But you know, I don't know. It'll be interesting because I guess we'll do our Game of the Year conversation, and then we'll have to like come back after winter break and be like, okay, like here's all the games we played that we should have talked about during Game of the Year, but we didn't get to. Like, you know, it's a good problem to have. Good problem to have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, aside from Halo Infinite, I've been playing the same stuff. Like I said, I don't really have anything new to say. I want to talk about Deltarune. So you said you want to finish Chapter 2. Does that mean you finished Chapter 1?
Oh yeah, Chapter 1 done and dusted.
Beautiful.
I started on Chapter 2, but I'm not far enough in that I want to talk about that yet. Plus, I don't really want to spoil anything. I do want to do a spoiler cast for this game. The ending of Chapter 1 confused me, especially when you told me that there was only one ending, and I was like, have I done something wrong to begin with? Because I was just like, this doesn't seem right. I feel like I fucked something up.
The first time I saw that ending, I like chills. I was like, oh, whoa, what the hell? Like, what happened? What did I do?
Yeah, I thought I did something wrong. I'm like, no, I'm sure I saved everyone. I didn't kill anyone. I was really sad about it. But yeah, man, what a great game! Like, I love the new battle mechanics from that was obviously drastically different from Undertale, and I really think that it works a lot better. The environment and the fact that things can attack you, and that the little puzzles you have to solve. It's just a really good game, and I'm back on board with Susie. She's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, that's exactly. I remember everybody was like getting on her case, and I remember Doc and I were both like, fuck you guys, all right? Like Susie's cool, all right? Give her a fucking break. It's a kid, all right?
She wasn't cool at the time. Big Suze was just not good at the time, and I'm happy to say she came around.
You got to give people room to grow, you know?
Yeah.
Can't judge a book by its scary pink cover.
Just everything about it, though. The music, the art style, the writing, like you say, is hilarious. I can't wait to finish this game. I think I'm going to, unless Metroid really captures me, which I think it probably will, and I kind of want to finish that this weekend.
You should finish this first if you can.
What, Metroid?
No, like Deltarune, because it's not that long, right? Like, you've got...
But Metroid's only apparently 8 to 10 hours, so I was hoping to finish that so I can talk about that on Nintendo Noise on Monday.
That comes out on Friday, doesn't it? Or is it tomorrow?
It comes out this Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'll have time to do both.
You could play Deltarune tonight and tomorrow and be done before you even get hands on Metroid, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Most likely.
It's only like 3 or 4 hours, yeah.
Is the second chapter not longer than the first one then? Because the first one wasn't that long. It was like 3 hours.
It might be an hour longer. Yeah, it might be 4 to 5, but it's not a lot longer.
That's fair enough. I had a good time with it. I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes, because obviously that ending, I was like, shit, okay.
Yeah,
and I've got theories as to what it was.
So do I, and it's interesting. There's a few things Doc has pointed out to me too that are very interesting, in the context of some of the theories that are floating around. But yeah, I'm just fascinated by it, honestly. Like, it obviously Undertale's one of my favorite games of all time. And I am really impressed just how much Toby has been able to like take what works about Undertale and elevate it in some ways, right? And like learn from the choices that he made in Undertale, and like evolve this. Like you said, the combat has evolved in a lot of like good, meaningful ways, and he found ways to make like the overworld more interactive, and those are like really welcome changes. Not that they were problems in Undertale, but like it feels like a natural evolution of that formula that I already felt like was so good.
Yeah. There was that one interactive puzzle I can think of in Undertale, the musical one that I ended up having to look up the answer to because I'm just musically challenged, shall we say. I couldn't comprehend it whatsoever, so I cheated on that one.
You're not great with overworld puzzles, is what I learned from watching you play Deltarune.
Hey, I realized what I was doing wrong. I was looking at my computer screen and there was a delay. So when I was doing the like light pattern, I'm like, yeah, I really should have been looking at the TV because I was like going to move and it was already changing by the time I'd moved. Because it's like 2 frames, it flickers. And I was like, oh, fuck. But yeah, that stream's ridiculous.
We clipped that. You can go watch it. Yeah, you can watch the part we're talking about. But also, if you want to watch the whole thing, if you're a Patreon supporter at the Blue Coin level or above, the archive is available on YouTube. So go check that out if you want. But yeah, I'm really glad you're getting on with it well. I figured you would. I mean, you loved Undertale, and it hits all those same buttons. But there's like a few things about it that I really do think, like the whole having a party is so interesting because it fundamentally changes a lot of the dynamics, I think. Like, I think one of the things that works so well about Undertale is that, like, it feels really lonely at times. And, like you have those moments of, like, feeling, like, isolated or, like, like, oh, like, is something scary going to happen if you're playing the first time? And, like, there's an eeriness to Undertale, at times, even though so much of it is cute and warm. And I think that contrast makes those spookier moments, land so much harder. Whereas with this, like, you still flirt with that, but I feel like it feels a lot less like any of those things because you pretty much are never by yourself, and your character, even though your character doesn't talk, like, you have somebody to bounce off of, and they can bounce off of each other. Whereas, like, there are long stretches of Undertale where you're, like, not talking to anybody and you're just out doing your thing,
Yeah, and it was very interesting that, the seemingly the main antagonist, at least at the beginning of the game, you bump into him a lot more than you ever did with Sans and Papyrus in Undertale.
Yeah, but I mean, like
constant.
Yeah, and it's so different too, though, because like Sans and Papyrus are antagonists for like 5 seconds of Undertale, and then they're just like your friends, Yeah. Which, I mean, like, is similar, I guess, right? Like, you can play this game that way, but, like, I guess the whole chaptered nature of it, each chapter has felt more like its own game rather than something like Life is Strange or something like that, where it's like, okay, like, chapter 1 goes directly into chapter 2, and, like, that feels so much more like, like a series rather than...
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A series in like
a
season of television.
Like I'm watching a TV show and it's episode 1, episode 2.
Right. Yeah. Whereas
but I guess you could see this as like chapter 1, chapter 2 of a book because they don't necessarily always follow on from one another, and sometimes it does go from I'm following this character and then I'm going over to see this character, and it's like what's happening in this situation.
I think the thing that is interesting to me is like it feels like less like a book and more like a comic, I think, actually, to me, because like each episode is episodic as well. Like there's an overarching narrative, but each chapter has its own self-contained arc that rises, falls, and resolves.
Yeah, there's like acts in them, right?
Yeah.
You get to this point and you can clearly see that something's going to happen. You overcome that, and then you go on to the next section. So yeah, I can see what you mean by that.
But I mean, yeah, I dig that about it. Like it's interesting to think like, Undertale. I think a singular run through of Undertale takes like 8 hours or something like that, like 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, which I can't believe that these two together are like 6 or 7 hours, and you don't pay a penny for them. It's mind blowing to me that he's just put these out for free. Well, why would you do that?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of reasons, and we could talk about that in a minute. But I think the thing that's so interesting is that like there's 5 more. Like when this game is all said and done, if they're all a similar length, this game's going to be like, what, 20 to 30 hours or more?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Maybe 30 hours long, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 36 to 40 hours long
if they're all this length. I'm wondering if some of them will be shorter, because he said that like 3, 4, and 5 are all going to come out at the same time, and then 5 and 6. I don't know, right? But like assume they're all 3 to 5 hours. It's going to be a huge game when all said and done.
Yeah, but like you said, is it going to play cohesively, like one game all the way through? Because you were curious as to whether some of the changes in, like, Chapter 2 come back to Chapter 1.
Yeah, like
things like that.
When the game's finalized, yeah.
Yeah, like, is he going to backport, say, the battle mechanics changes or things like that? Or is it just going to be a case of, no, it was like that when I made it, and it kind of remains as that piece of art, and you can see how this has progressed through the development cycle?
Either way, I'm cool. Like I it works, right? And I think whatever Toby and company want to do, I'm good with that. But yeah, on the note of it coming out for free, I think it's super interesting because obviously you could have charged for these, but I imagine like with the first one, right? Like it was released as like a demo to get feedback. And I know he said with this one, he kind of just put it out because the rest of it was taking longer than he thought. And, it's been like a really tough year and everything. And he wanted to give people a little, something to like enjoy and have a positive experience with. And I mean, A, good on him. That's a cool move on his part. But B, the Undertale fan base is so like dedicated. I can't imagine you played 1 and 2 for free and then you're like, I'm not gonna pay for the rest of it. Like you're on the hook.
And I also, as I said it, thought there's all that fan gamer stuff.
That was gonna be my next point.
Merch that comes with it. I want that Rolsey plushie. I'm added it to my Christmas list. It's going on there. That's all I want this year is a Rolsey plushie. God, what an adorable little creature he is. I love Rolsey.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I don't know. I genuinely love all the characters, I feel like. But yeah, I like him a lot. And I love, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. The Spade kid.
Yeah, I can't remember any of that.
From Chapter 1. Oh my god. It's right. It's killing me. I gotta look this up.
Is there a Big Sue's plushie?
There probably is. I swear to God, right now, like Doc is just screaming at the top of his lungs, like, Lancer, that's his name. I love Lancer so much.
Oh my god, there's a new Rolsey plushie coming soon.
Ooh.
No hat Rolsey.
Which one do you want? No hat or hat?
Both.
There you go. Spoken like a true fan.
I don't know. I like the hat with the like fake fangs.
The green, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that is also probably a big part of it, is that like there is such a, there is such a rabid fan base around it that is going to show up and buy merch and buy vinyl and plushies and toys and all this stuff.
Oh yeah. And as soon as I put that Twitch archive up on YouTube, it got copyright claimed immediately.
Yep. Don't worry.
By Toby.
Well, not by Toby, by the licensor of the music in like South America, and I challenged it, and we're fine.
Oh, it said it wasn't a copyright strike, but yeah, it was like I can imagine there's a lot of videos that they're claiming revenue on as well. So there's money coming from Faces.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a question actually about Deltarune. This one comes from Ryan Walmsley, probably Walmsley, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say Ryan Walmsley, who wrote in and said, "When will episode 3 be? 2 years?"
Well, they're coming out as and I wonder if it is 2 years because it's 3, 4, and 5 coming together. Unless Toby just is like, nah, changed my mind. Gonna go with just episode 3.
I mean, it could happen. He said last time they were all gonna get released at once.
The rest of the game's coming in one hit. Here's chapter 2.
Here's chapter 3. Okay, you know what? Here's chapter 4. Okay, I promise I'm gonna make you pay for the last chapter. The last chapter is just $50. You want the exciting conclusion, you gotta pay for it, Junior.
Can you imagine? It's just a 5-minute cutscene. You pay $50 for it to find out what happens.
That would be so funny. But yeah, I mean, take as long as you need. I'll be here.
Yeah. Just not too long, because I do want to play it while I'm alive.
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously finish it. Finish it before you or I die, please. That would be... That would be my one.
I don't want this to be, like a Game of Thrones scenario where we get up to, say, chapter 7 and just chapter 8 is just taking decades and decades and decades and it never happens and there's never a conclusion to the story. Well, and I would just be very upset about that.
If there's a 2-year gap between every episode, what would that put us at? It'd be 2023 when we get 3, 2025.
It's like another 15 years, right?
2027 would be... what I just say? 3, 4, and 5. 2029 would be 6, and then 2031 would be chapter 7. So it would be a decade.
No, I can't wait another decade. No way.
I mean, I hope not, but I could. I literally could.
and my save is on my Switch as well. So what happens to that? You
replay the whole thing like I did.
Yeah, on a totally different platform that you didn't want to play it on.
Well, it's great. Now what I'll do is I'll wait for chapter 3, and then I'll replay chapters 1 and 2 on Switch, and then I'll play chapter... Because I'll have to refresh my memory every 3 years.
Yeah, fair point. Do you know, the craziest thing about my partner is a new TV season will come out. Say Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. The next season of Stranger Things comes out. I'll watch it all again from the beginning of season 1 up until that point, so they're ready for the next season. And I just can't fathom why you would do that.
I don't know. I get that. I feel like it depends on the length of time, though. Because, I've done that before with shows where I'm like, oh, yeah, new season's coming out, but I don't really remember what was happening, so, maybe not rewatch the whole
I'll maybe rewatch the last episode of the previous season, or Netflix do these great recap videos that you can watch in the more section. And I'll watch one of those. I'm not going to watch the entirety of the show. Can you imagine if you did that with something like Grey's Anatomy, which had 1,000 seasons?
Every time.
You'd be there for your entire life just watching Grey's Anatomy.
I gotta never
watch anything else.
Every season of Bake Show before the new season starts.
Yeah, right. So I need to find out what happens to Nadia. I need to find out.
Again.
Did Diana really take the ice cream out of the freezer on purpose? What happened there?
She did.
The baked Alaska. She did.
She did.
Evil.
Monster. Absolute monster. So, aside from Deltarune and Halo, you've also been playing Clubhouse games, which we talked about. We're going to be trying to stream that.
I got this for £10, Pete. I was like, it was a bargain.
Yeah, it's a real bargain.
It was. And I wanted to specifically bring this up because Ray in the community got me into Mancala months ago. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to play Mancala with him. And the problem was, I think I'd been practicing Mancala on an app on my phone quite a lot. I beat him, I think it was 40-8.
Oh my
I won
God.
by a long stretch.
Wow.
Every game, I won every game of
You're just
Mancala
putting him on
we played.
blast, huh?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing this with the rest of the community on stream.
Chewy seemed
and
very confident that he could beat
I know.
you.
Yeah, I think Chewy might. This might be my game.
I hope so.
Splatoon, no fucking way. Chewy's winning every time. But Mancala, I can put a little bit of time in to have a think as to what move I want to make.
I've never played Mancala. I don't know what that is.
So it's a bunch of little beans in little slots, and you take the whole stack of beans. So say there's 5 in the stack, and you drop 1 in each single slot, and then the goal is to get as many in your end slot in your goal. And if you land your final
This
bean
board is so weird looking.
in one opposite, and the one opposite has beans in it, but the one you land in is empty, you steal all those beans, and you can have those as well.
Okay.
Great.
Sure.
Good strategy game.
Okay, cool. I'll have to start practicing.
But it's got like Audi versions of games in here as well, The usual. Connect 4 is like Stack 4 or whatever it's called.
4 in a row.
But yeah, 4 in a row. But they've got a rip-off version of Uno called Last Card, and you have to call Last Card when you play it. It's so funny.
That's really funny.
There's so many like rip-off games in there. It's hilarious. But they're really well made. They're really well made games.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that with y'all. And then last but not least, we have Diablo 2. You've been playing some more Diablo 2, and I need you to bring up this text message that you sent. I need you to pull it up. I know I need you to. So, Steve, if you'll remember, last week on the show, Steve was talking about Diablo, and he threw a little bit of shade at his brother Sam for their performance during the battle against Diablo. And Steve sends me a text screenshot of a text message that Sam sent him this week that had me on the verge of tears. I was laughing my fucking ass
I got
off.
that in the middle of the recording of Nintendo Noise. So last week's Nintendo Noise, about 10 minutes to the end, you can see me look up to the top right on my screen, and I almost burst out laughing. And like the Richard was in the middle of saying something, and it popped up, and I was like listening to him, and I was like, what he's saying is not funny, so I have to try and not laugh at it. But then I just kept thinking about it, and you can just see me like holding back the laughter every now and again. Because the message that popped up was, I wasn't that bad at facing Diablo, you cheeky fuck. And it was just the way the way it just popped up. It was so funny.
Oh my God.
But I can safely say that me and my brother have now finished Diablo all the way through with both of our characters. So I'm now officially Slayer Dorito, and my brother is Slayer Knick Knack, and it's all good. We even went to the secret cow level, and on the screen when it's like join a friend, it says adventuring in Moo Moo Farm, which is just hilarious. And we had a great time. It was really, really good.
You do the epilogue and everything?
Yeah, did all of it, all the way through. We defeated Baal, and then we gamed the system a little bit because we figured out if you put all of your money in your shared stash instead of your private stash, they don't take any money when you die. So we just put all of the money in there. And then it was just like, well, we don't care if we die because we've got portals open. We'll just take a bunch of mana potions with us instead, and we'll just keep going at Baal. And then when he kills us, we'll just respawn and we'll just keep going and going and going because it's not costing us any money. So we game the system that way. But it also turns out the achievements, or the way they calculate the achievements, isn't too smart, because one of the achievements are like, you picked up 100,000 gold or 1,000,000 gold or whatever. It counts when you just take all of your money in and out of your stash. So you can just take it in and out of your stash 10 times, and then it thinks you picked up 1,000,000 gold.
That's
so
funny.
if you really want some easy achievements, that's one to do. At least at the moment, I can imagine they'll patch it, but just take your money in and out of your stash.
That's so funny. So do you see yourself putting more time in it now, or like?
100%. Yeah. Me and my brother are waiting for the first ladder season to open, so we can start getting some of the exclusive ladder gear and get onto the tables. So we'll probably be hearing more about it as I get back into it. But
cool.
For now, this one's firmly on my game of the year list. I love this game so much, and it's Vicarious Visions did just a phenomenal job on the remake.
You know, I'm still sad that they're a Blizzard studio, but I'm glad that they made this perfect game for you.
Honestly, it's a dream come true. So they've recreated one of your favorite games from your childhood, and they've recreated one of mine. So they're just, I think they're specifically, they could just be a flip screen game studio at this point and just keep making games from my childhood and your childhood.
I can't tell you how badly I want Microsoft or someone to just be like, we want to buy Vicarious, the studio formerly known as Vicarious. We don't need anything else from you. We just want them. Just get them away from Activision Blizzard, please. Because Jesus Christ, that studio just turns out gold, you know? Ugh. Anyway.
Yeah. Plus, they could do with like a remake studio now. Like, Sony's got Bluepoint. We need someone over.
How fucking perfect would it be if they were just like, oh yeah. we bought Vicarious Visions, or we bought whatever they're calling them now, the internal Blizzard Studio 5, and we're renaming them Vicarious Visions, and their first project is Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie Remastered. Like, come on. Just print the money. Just print it, Microsoft. Please. All right, so before we get out of here, we got a couple questions for the question block. This first one comes from Affy, one of our Patreon supporters, who wrote in and said, with the recent announcement of Universal and Pokemon partnering on theme parks, what game franchise from any platform would you love to see imagined as a theme park? I would love to see Spyro with all the beautiful landscapes, dragons, and being able to collect the gems. That's a great call out. I wouldn't have thought of that one, but I could definitely see how you could imagine that world in a way that makes sense.
Can I say Toy Story?
No, you can't fucking
from the
say...
franchise Toy Story 2. No, I'm joking. Of course not. That exists. Toy
Yeah.
Story 1 exists. It's at Disneyland.
There's Toy Story Land in Disney World.
Yeah, I know.
Monster.
Do you know, I've always wanted to see something a little more adult. Like, I love the Star Wars land and Star Wars area that they have. I'd love something like that for a Fallout or something, imagine going through like Megaton and you're like going around and stuff, or you're in actual Fallout shelter. You could do a lot of stuff with that. I think
that would be
really
fucking
cool.
awesome, and it would be especially cool if it was like, imagine it's like it's a theme park, but the whole thing is like a LARP. Like if you come in, like the whole thing is
with
a game.
Jumpsuit on.
Yeah, like you come in, you get a jumpsuit, you have hit points and everything, and that would be so cool.
Imagine like you start in the vault and you escape the vault, you get out.
That's how you get into the park.
That's how you get into the park. Then you're exploring. It's like, right, you don't buy with real money here. Here's a bunch of bottle caps. You need to go in and spend these. You pick up some Nuka-Cola. Oh, it could be so good. It would be good. I would like that. Fallout is one of my favorite worlds in any video game.
That's a good call out. That makes a lot of sense. It's fucked up because Pokemon's the one I want. Like that's the one. And unfortunately, Universal's going to do a half-hearted job with it, so it'll be okay. But
they seem like they've done a good job with the Mario world and then now the Donkey Kong expansion.
I want to see them in person before I pass judgment, but it's like it's tough, man. Because like Universal,
it's not Disney, I know.
It's just not as good, Like it's like Pepsi, It's like right.
Whoa, Pepsi is infinitely superior. Pepsi Max is incredible. It's my favorite.
Get out of here! All right, Coke is better than Pepsi.
So maybe I'll appreciate the Universal Studios a little bit better than Disney. Not that I've ever been to Universal Studios.
I mean, you're not missing much. I'll tell you that.
Are you gonna go to the one when it opens in Florida?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like I would imagine whenever the next time I go to Disney World is, I'll hop across the fence, go check it out.
See Mario.
Yeah, spend a day hanging out with my boy Mario. But I'm gonna go to the one in Japan. If my trip to Japan pans out, so I'll be able.
That would be really cool.
I'll be able to see the Pokemon stuff by then. It'll be up and running, which will be cool. Other franchises I'd really want to see. That's an obvious choice. I guess another one is Zelda, right? Like, there's a lot you could do there.
That's got to be coming, right? In the Nintendo world, it's got to be coming.
You would think, right? Like, that's got to be around the corner.
Although I kind of think Animal Crossing might come before Zelda.
That would make a lot of
sense.
It's
got that cutesy vibe that kind of matches everything else that they're doing.
I could see that really easily working too, right? Like you get a couple, folks in the big suits, right? And you get some of the most popular villagers. You got somebody walking around like Tom Nook. You got Isabelle like popping up on the screen.
Why is the gift shop not Nick's granny anyway?
Yeah, I know. Huge missed opportunity. And you just have like all like how like they have like have you seen the Mario and Luigi costumes, like how they like talk?
No.
So they have sound effects and it'll be like, "It's me, Mario," and stuff like that. Like, hello. Yeah, like you just have all of them.
I want a Murphy there, so it's like I like the deep voices the best. They're so funny.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a good one. And that's the thing, like, I don't know, like obviously there are more adult ones that I could see working, but for like a whole park, I feel like that's tough. Like I could see like things based off of other games at a theme park, right? Because like something that I think could totally work out would be like, like a Halo in like a virtual reality type experience. Like I've said forever that I think the future of virtual reality that's going to be most interesting to me is at like theme parks, is places where you can have, or like like dedicated VR spaces. Yeah, where you can set up a whole room and you can
see other people that are in the physical space you're in,
and build it out like it's like laser tag or something, right? Where it's like you're in a physical space that they've made, and then they augment it with VR, and everything. So that like if you and I go in together, we go in this one door and there's other teams we got to fight, or like, oh no, there's a dragon, like fuck, we got to, like whatever, like. I feel like that would be the way to go. And especially
if Microsoft put in any of their franchises in, it's going to be Skyrim. It's going to be Skyrim VR because they've already got it.
Sure.
Why not? They put Skyrim on anything else getting re-released again next month. So
imagine how fucking cool, like, and this is crazy. Like this is like a crazy thing. I don't even know how you make this work. But imagine you go in a Halo game, and they like you have like a harness that they strap to you so that when you jump, you like do like the space jump, where it's like the gravity physics, so you can feel like you're jumping around on the moon and like getting in fights and like I feel like stuff like that will be so cool.
I think basically you're just on a floor of trampolines, and so when you're moving, it's a bit spacey and like bouncy.
Yeah. Or maybe there's like parts of the map like that, or you can whoop and jump up to the next one or something like that, Yeah, I love that. All right, so we have a couple other questions. We got a question here from Asobi, his patented 3-question formula about Comic-Con. But I think we'll save that one for next week when I'm just back from Comic-Con and we can talk about that then. And then I want to tease this one because we're not going to talk about it today, but it's a topic we're going to talk about in the next couple of weeks. So I want to get you all to start chewing on this question for yourselves because we'd love to hear from some of you. So Trendy Brendy, another one of our Patreon supporters, wrote in and said, the Game Awards just got set for December 9th in person in LA. Do you guys want to do another bet maybe as the date approaches about what games will get nominated for Game of the Year? We absolutely do want to do that. So I think we'll figure it out. I think we'll probably either do this at the end of October or the beginning of November. There's a couple weeks everybody can think about what games they think should be in contention. We can kind of source questions and everything from everybody. And we'll talk about it then. So that wraps it up. Somebody's knocking on my door, so I guess I really have to go now. But anyway, that wraps it up for this episode of the Flip Screen Games podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on another week. Remember, you can go support us on patreon.com/flipscreengames. Head to the website, flipscreen.games, if you want to get links to the Twitch, the Discord, all that other stuff. Wherever you can find us, we're there. So yeah, come show your support. Come hang out. come join the community that we're trying to build, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Flip Screen Games. Take it easy, everybody.